From the headlines that move us
to the plays on the field and the people making a difference.
It's news, sports, stories, and the people that keep our community alive.
This is the Heartbeat of Tampa Bay.
I'm Christopher Ingram.
And I'm Sarina Fazan. Thank you so much for joining us, everyone.
Sarina, we have a great guest here today who is the executive curator of the Florida Museum of Photographic Arts.
Yes, we'd like to welcome Robin Odell. Thank you so much, Robin, for being here.
Thank you for having me.
I mean, and I know you are from St. Pete, right? You're a St. Pete native. St. Pete is ever growing nationwide, being so recognized.
Arts.
You must, that smile on your face is like people keep on growing and growing.
Yes. Born and raised St. Petersburg, Florida, and I'm proud to be part of that growing groundswell of artistic community in all of Tampa Bay, really. So.
Well, I have to tell you, I've been to the Florida Museum of Photographic Arts a couple of times, at the old building when you're in the beer can building, and then at your new current facility in Ybor City. I used to teach at University of Tampa, and I took some of my journalism students over there, and it is phenomenal. I love the new location. Tell us a little bit about just the origin of the museum and your recent move.
Yeah.
Or maybe not so recent. I'm not sure when did you move there?
It's been about 3 years that we've been in Ybor, and now we are celebrating this year our 25th anniversary.
Congratulations!
Fantastic.
Yeah, so the museum's been in existence since 2001, and have moved several times in those 25 years. But yeah, super happy to be in Ybor City. We're in the historic Crest building right on 7th Avenue in the middle of the historic district. And also they're part of artistic renaissance that's happening in Ybor City, which is exciting to be part of.
And the museum is, I mean, so beautiful, but very unique. Can you tell us what makes it so different from other museums?
Yeah, so we are one of only 8 museums in the whole United States that focus just on photography or on photographic arts. And so it is a very specific niche that we think is important. I mean, photography is everywhere now, right? But even though you're seeing it on a screen, it's not the same as going into a building and seeing a real printed photograph and spending some time with these images and seeing many photos by a single artist too that you don't always get that access to.
Well, we're showing some pictures of a recent exhibit, and this artist is from India.
Yes.
From India.
Dimpy Bloesha. It's the exhibit that's going on right now through April the 5th. She is from India, and she takes these humorous, witty, amazing photographs all on cell phones.
Oh, I saw some of them, and the one that I really was impressed by was it looked like it was a guys playing basketball, and she's sort of at a really low angle, and it's mostly just shadows kind of look. It's really cool.
Yeah, she's really good about like angles and waiting for that like perfect shot. And yeah, I mean, you just have to see them to believe them, but it is also inspiring, right? Like, what do you do with the cell phone that's in your pocket? And when you realize there are so many different ways of taking photographs even with your cell phone. So we also offer classes on cell phone photography.
Really?
Yeah.
So we have to talk about that too, but Robin, how do you find these artists? I mean, do they submit work to you? How do you choose?
That's a great question.
Yes, and yes, and yes, and yes. People submit. I go to photo conferences and see thousands and thousands and thousands of photographers. It's kind of part of my job. Dimpy was actually brought to me by someone that was on our board that followed her, on Instagram, and was like, "Oh, you have to see these. These are just amazing," and then they are. So it can be all different things, right?
So in the case of Dimpy, is she a professional photographer, or is this just more of a hobby of hers?
She is a professional.
She is, okay, very cool. So this will help her, like being seen and presented in one of the 8 photographic museums in the country.
When we had the opening reception, people came from like Rhode Island
really?
And stuff
Wow.
to see, who were, wanted to see her work in real life, instead of just on a screen.
That's
or whatever.
cool.
So.
How many artists do you have at the same time at the museum? Do you feature just one artist at the same time?
So
or
we have 2
several?
galleries. The larger gallery is usually national and international artists. It changes over every 3 to 4 months. So that's where Dimpy is right now. Our next exhibit's going to be cigars.
Oh, that's cool. Appropriate for Ybor City.
In honor of the 140th anniversary of the first cigar being rolled in Ybor City.
Wow.
And so it's going to be a combination of, the perfect example, last year when I was at a photo conference in New York, I met these collectors who he has over 1 million photographs in his collection of primarily 19th and early 20th century photographs. So we came up with this idea. So he like collected all his photographs, his name's Dr. Burns, of cigars, anything to do with cigars. And then we're also, there's a local photographer who, a local cigar company, J.C. Newman.
Oh yeah, Eric Newman.
Right. And Drew, they commissioned this local artist, Zach Whitman, to document the last 20, there used to be 200 cigar factories, and there's 25 buildings left. So he documented those last 25 buildings.
Cool.
So the exhibit's going to be a combination of those two things, like the contemporary, but also like these really, 19th century, everything's little, right? But there's like just funky people smoking cigars and rolling cigars and like all kinds of stuff. So that's the main exhibit. And then we have a smaller gallery that changes over more often, like every 6 to 8 weeks. And a lot of that kind of thing, we do community. Like right now, there's the member show. 100 photographs, all by our members who actually not even just always in this area, also all over the country. We have members who contribute. But then the next one in there is going to be a single artist who is also from the Tampa Bay area, Beth Belashki. But then we also do like a student competition. We coordinate with Hillel School and the Camises, and it's a open call to middle and high school students on the theme of mental wellness and well-being.
Isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
Well, going back to like what you were talking about too with classes, you said that the museum actually offers classes to learn how to take pictures.
Yeah, everything from, photography 101, nature. We've been especially having cell phone photographies because of who we have right now, but we have all kinds of classes all the time.
I think I probably know the answer to this, but do active photographers, people that are consider themselves professional or semi-pro, amateur, pro photographers, what percentage of them would you say are actually still producing their own photographs in terms of putting it in the solution, have a dark room and doing all that kind of stuff? Very many or no?
It's interesting. There's been a return to dark rooms. You see dark rooms being added back to schools. Blake High School has a dark room. Yeah. We are in the Crest building, and upstairs there's, I don't know how many right now, 19 different like artist studios and galleries, and they're putting a print studio in, but there's also plans to put a dark room in.
Very cool.
So there definitely are artists who do analog photography, and there are a few places in the Tampa Bay area where even if you shoot on film and you don't want to have a dark room in your bathroom or whatever, you can have them developed.
It's really cool because it's really an art form. I used to work in a photo lab when I was in high school, and we had a dark room, and we processed the fast stuff too, but we could do custom prints as well. And it's cool, the way you kind of burn and dodge, and it's really art.
Too.
Yeah, it really
is.
It's super cool.
See those, images come up through the
they all
chemicals.
mysteriously just start to appear from a blank piece of paper.
I know, that has got to be like magical.
It is magical.
And I just love, speaking of magic, again, seeing your smile, Robin, as you continuously, as you talk about this passion of yours. Have you always, I know you have your history is very deep, with museums. You were with St. Pete for a long time. Have you always wanted to do this?
I kind of came around photography. It wasn't something that was necessarily an interest when I was growing up or anything. And I worked at the Museum of Fine Arts in St. Petersburg, which has a remarkable photography collection. They've been collecting since the 1970s when you could get anything. You could get an Ansel Adams for $100.
Wow.
Which they did. It was like they had gotten an Ansel Adams, and then it was kind of late coming, so he's like, I'm just going to throw an extra one in there for you, you know, like. Yeah.
Isn't that something?
Yeah.
How times have changed.
Throw in
right?
How times have changed, indeed.
Dude, this is
Which
extra.
is a good thing.
Today's worth like $100,000.
Yeah. And so that's really where I fell in love with photography, and then ended up going to graduate school, you know, as a little bit later than some people.
That's okay.
And so specifically went for photographic preservation and collections management because I felt that was a skill that not a lot of people have.
Right. Tell us, what was the origins of this museum, the Florida Museum of Photographic Arts? You know, one of, I think you said 8 in the country that is exclusively focused on photography. How did this come to be?
So it was some friends, right, got together, Chuck Levin and Cynthia Flowers, and I'm gonna blank on the other man's name.
It's not a quiz.
He's not with us anymore, so he won't notice that I forgot his name.
We'll edit that out.
But you know, they were lovers of photography and collectors of photography, and you know, decided that they wanted to share it with the world and a lot of other people. You know, it's always been and still is, you know, just this great group of people who care and help and make it happen. We have an amazing board, and Chuck Levin, who was the founder, is still involved. And he really just, you know, they started from day one putting out these icons of photography for people to see.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
And what would you say to someone who is an aspiring photographer? What do you think is the most fundamental thing for them to do in terms of developing their skill as a photographer?
Well, I think it's like any artist, right? You have to do what you love and practice.
Practice.
And learn, right? And it's like, you know, Salvador Dali wasn't painting giant paintings when you started, right? You start, you learn the basics, and then you learn how to riff on the basics. Photography is the same way. It's a tool, and learning to use the tool, but then you have to have your own eye and your own ideas and your own, like, what does this photo mean to you, right? It's about sharing your vision.
In the world of museums, not just photographic museums, but in museums in general, is photography considered a true art form today, or is it still kind of the redheaded stepchild of the art world?
That's one of my running jokes, is the redheaded stepchild that is usually displayed by the bathroom, which is kind of true. It absolutely, of course, is an art, right? And photographs now sell for millions and millions and millions of dollars. Not that money equals art necessarily, but it has always been, since day one, controversial. You know, it's like, is this just, are you just pulling pushing the trigger, and what is the art involved? But then you can look at my photos and you know I am not a photographer and not an artist, right? And it is a skill. No. And I know enough to know that.
Show us the last 10 pictures on your phone.
Yeah. I actually sat in on the class. Oh my God, what's that? Last night, cell phone photography class last night. I learned a lot, and that was one of the things the teacher asked us to share. He's like, "What do you like to take photos of?" And I was like, "If you look at my phone, it's almost all photos of photos."
Photos of photos. Well, there's probably an art to that.
No, because I'm trying to learn, right?
Yes,
and so I'm always like saving, like,
Yeah.
"Oh, look at this," or "Look at that." And I take others. I travel and stuff like that, but I do take a lot of photos of
photos to hope to learn even more.
And, and to remember.
Yes.
You know, when you see things and stuff. But,
Yes.
Yeah.
Do you have any upcoming classes? Can you share with our audience if they wanted to take one of your classes? Where do they go? How do they get information?
Probably the best thing to do is go to the website. We have a calendar there, and it has all the classes on it, because we offer a fair amount of classes. So our website's just our initials. It's really easy, fmopa.org.
fmopa.org.
Florida Museum of Photographic Arts, FMOPA.
FMOPA.
.org.
And on there, I would imagine too, you have what exhibits.
We have
what's coming up.
Exactly. What's there now? What's coming up? Events. We have other events too. We have speakers and gallery talks and all kinds of fun stuff. So.
And information on the contests that you have, or is that limited to
Those are
young people?
No, those are on there too. We also right now we have an international photo competition that's going on that we do every year. Thousands of people submit from all over the world, and we on 7 different categories, and we have jurists from all over the world, and then they pick the top 3 in all 7 categories, and we print and frame them and make an exhibition out of those.
Oh, nice.
And there are actually prizes and that kind of stuff. So yes, if you go to our website, you can see where you can submit for that and where you can submit for the student exhibition as
Very
well.
cool.
So.
FMOPA.org. I got it. Well, Robin Dell, Executive Curator of the Florida Museum of Photographic Arts, we appreciate you being here today.
Oh, it was such a pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you for being here, Robin.
Every story shared
Adds another heartbeat to Tampa Bay.
from courage to community.
We are so proud to tell the stories that keep our neighborhood strong.
Thanks for watching The Heartbeat of Tampa Bay. I'm going to be in so much trouble with my girlfriend because she's a redhead.
As is half my family. So, as am I, kind of.